Hey everybody, it's Christine at Zeidman Development, and today I'm going to walk you through a couple of the ways that I've been setting up EveryAction in order to prevent adding duplicate gifts after records have been merged in EveryAction. So the way that the API is set up is that it will trigger a contribution to come through the API anytime there's a change on the back end. And that's not something that we can control on our side. So I've worked out a system to help you prevent adding duplicate gifts. So you can see right now I'm on my review screen, and I thought we would start there so I could show you some of the gifts that are coming through that we don't want. And then I'm going to show you how I'm preventing those gifts from going into Razor's Edge. So we're going to go ahead and flip over to this Gifts tab. And just so you know, I started this import with the date range of March 7th through June 2nd of 2022. So you can see some of these gifts absolutely fall in that time frame and some of them absolutely do not. So we have a gift here from Barb Doll, and that's December of 2021, clearly outside of our date range. So we're going to assume that Barb's gift is already in Razor's Edge. If we came back to our data source, we could open her record, we could verify that. But I know that you don't want to sit here and verify every gift. So rather than spending time showing you how to verify, which I'm sure you're very capable of doing, I'm going to show you how we're actually going to prevent that gift from coming into Razor's Edge altogether. So first things first, let's go back to that Gifts tab. I want you to notice I have a gift ID here. Now, this gift ID is the ID number coming straight out of EveryAction. I've also got it linked to the reference card number so you can see it there. And I've added a prefix of EA- to it. Now the reason for that was because I want to make sure that you don't accidentally use a gift ID that already exists in the Razor's Edge. By adding that prefix, we can eliminate that possibility because it's highly unlikely that you have gift IDs with that prefix. If you do, then you may need to do a different prefix, but that's a different conversation for a different time. So we're going to use a gift ID here, and we're going to use the same prefix every time. And that way, if a gift comes through that already matches a gift ID that's in Razor's Edge, it will trigger an exception to say you cannot add a gift with a gift ID that's already in Razor's Edge. So we're using that gift ID as a way to flag this and tell us it's already in Razor's Edge. So we're going to go ahead and close this review screen, and I'm going to open that template, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So we're going to come to the Gifts tab, and we are going to open the gift mapping. So let me move that up here. And then we're going to go to our gift ID row here. So that's our field for our gift ID. You can see that I've linked that to the contribution ID, which is the name of the field coming directly out of EveryAction. And you can see I have a field setting here. So when you click on the field setting, you can see that I've left the from source blank. In my change to target, I have the EA- that I mentioned earlier. My match type is a regular expression, shown here as a regex. And my replace type is a prepend. So the prepend is just going to add that text to the beginning of the field. Now, once you have set this up, you need to leave it the same all the time. If you come in and change it after you've been importing, then you're going to undo what we're doing here. The point here is to make sure that the gift IDs are the same so that it can trigger an exception. So once you figured out your format, you need to keep your format consistent, period, because that's the only way to make sure that this will avoid adding a gift that's already in the Razor's Edge. So what this means is no matter where accounts are merged, no matter who the donor was in Razor's Edge, if a gift is triggered because of an account merging in EveryAction, if that contribution ID is already in Razor's Edge in the gift ID field, we can't add that gift again. So it gives you a trigger so you know not to add that gift. The other layer that I have added in order to flag some, or to avoid adding some of those gifts and to avoid seeing all of the exceptions that could happen, are in my gift area settings. So you can see in my gift area settings, if I come to the matching tab, I have an option here to say only add if it does not match an existing gift. And that I have linked to the reference number, which I've also mapped that contribution ID to. That again allows me to check. The reason that this won't work for every merge situation is that this is only able to look at the gifts on a linked constituent. So if, for example, you had my record in Razor's Edge under a former name, and you had my record in EveryAction, you had 2 records for me, one with my former name and one with my current name. If you merge those 2 together into my new name, but you have my old name in Razor's Edge, you may not have a match between my accounts and it may not find that. So this will help, but I strongly recommend that you do what I showed first as far as using that contribution ID as a way to ensure that you cannot add the same gift to Razor's Edge twice. So hopefully that's not too crazy of an explanation and it helps you understand how this setup works. We are walking through this with every organization that has onboarding with EveryAction. So should get a walkthrough of this with one of us, and we will help you understand how to work with that and how to make sure you don't end up adding duplicate gifts. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great day.